So now we've come to a special part of our user conference. This is the part where I'm pleased to have the honor of introducing this year's Special Achievement Award recipients. We'll start with the Canadian recipients of the Esri Special Achievement in GIS Award. This award, given by Esri, celebrates organizations worldwide that are setting new standards in the use of GIS to improve our world. Normally, this award is limited to one recipient per country per year. But this year, we're proud that Esri decided to recognize not one, but two outstanding Canadian organizations whose innovative use of GIS has delivered remarkable results in their respective fields. Our first Special Achievement Award goes to Pomerleau, one of Canada's largest construction companies based in Montreal. Pomerleau was selected from thousands of Esri customers worldwide for their groundbreaking integration of GIS, building information management, or building information modeling, and Internet of Things technologies on the Cement Quebec project. By harmonizing these advanced technologies, they've accelerated construction timelines by an impressive 33% and have set a new benchmark for the construction industry in Canada. Anthony Le Guen will be accepting this award on Pomerleau's behalf. But first, let's take a moment and watch this brief video about their GIS success.
7 concrete silos, 45 meters high, were built by pouring concrete non-stop for 9 days straight. A crew of 120 workers worked 12-hour shifts around the clock. Just 2 days before construction, the client made an urgent last-minute request. They wanted real-time sensor monitoring, and the team had only 48 hours to figure it out. This is the story of how Pomerleau turned an impossible deadline into a Canadian first. Traditional construction uses paper plans and spreadsheets, but with concrete pouring non-stop, there was no time to flip through binders or update Excel sheets. Pomerleau's innovation team had one shot to prove that sensors, 3D models, and GIS could work together under extreme pressure. In just 48 hours, the team did something that had never been done in Canada. They attached sensors to the concrete forms that sent data every minute: position, height, and temperature. This information was connected to their 3D building models and GIS systems. Suddenly, everyone could see the construction happening in real time, not just on site, but from the office, even from their phones. Every hour, the system automatically generated reports showing which steel plates needed to be placed in the next 3 meters. Construction crews loved it so much that they called these reports the Bible. It told them exactly what was coming next, preventing costly mistakes before they happened. Project managers could check safety, quality, and progress from a single screen. Instead of running around the site collecting information, they could focus on making better decisions. The technology didn't replace expertise. It made experts even better. Silo number 2 was scheduled for 8 days of construction. They finished it in 5. The entire project was completed 33% faster than planned. What began as a last-minute scramble became a landmark achievement. Pomerleau had just revolutionized how construction could be done. Here's the beautiful irony. To build 7 concrete silos, Pomerleau first had to break down the information silos between their teams. They proved that when you combine human expertise with smart technology, you don't just build faster, you build better. The Cement Quebec project sent a message to the entire construction industry. The future isn't coming, it's here. One digital twin at a time.
So joining me here today is Anthony Le Guin, the GIS manager for more than just a GIS manager. You do more than that, but to present you, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to present you with this award, the SAG Award for the revolutionizing the way concrete is managed in Canada. And it just amazed me when I heard this thing unfolding for over the number of years, using velocity in real time to keep track of what's going on, using all kinds of, bringing BIM in. So Anthony, what is the impact of this award on Pomerleau as a company and you as well?
Thank you, Alex. So it's a great honor for Pomerleau. Let me tell you a quick story. Like 5 years ago, I was surveyor in Nunavut in the mining industry, and I didn't know nothing regarding GIS, Esri, ArcGIS, BIM. So like I was just collecting data on site, seeing it in civil 3D with a black background, with no map, no context. So I would love to learn GIS at school like the student. So yes, it's a great honor. And when I joined Pomerleau, GIS was, like 5 years ago, GIS was only a research axis. So but I understand directly, like, okay, it could be useful in construction. So I push for that. And we try to deliver connected data and connected site to improve construction. So, yeah.
So, yeah, Pomerleau is not just in Quebec, are you?
No, we are across Canada, and we have 200 active sites, and we are a little bit in USA with our renewable energy.
So this means an expansion for GIS across your whole organization and the concrete industry across Canada then?
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, félicitations.
Merci, Alex.
Okay.
Thank you.
Congratulations once again, Pomerleau, on an incredible, incredible initiative. And thank you, Anthony, for your leadership there. So, as I mentioned, we're lucky this year. We have 2 award winners. So it's my pleasure to now announce that our second Esri Special Achievement in GIS Award goes to the largest municipality in Atlantic Canada, the Halifax Regional Municipality. HRM's strategic use of location intelligence over the past 35 years has transformed processes and improved governance across their entire organization, delivering better outcomes for their community as a whole. It's no surprise that they have actually ranked first in the Geospatial Maturity Index report, which is a result of a survey of 96 leading public sector organizations across all of North America. Receiving this award is Paul Schaffelberg, the Director of Data Analytics and Visualization for Halifax Regional Municipality, and his team. But as they come up here, let's first get a glimpse of HRM's comprehensive use of GIS.
The Halifax Regional Municipality is in a unique position in that we have both a dense urban core and a very broad rural community. So while we have land to expand into, there isn't necessarily always the required infrastructure to bring services outwards and sprawl into those lands.
500,000 people today, planning for 1 million by 2050. But Halifax can't just sprawl. Every system has to work everywhere. In 2016, Paul Schaffelberg had a problem.
While we were knocking it out of the park, delivering traditional GIS services, we were really limited to what the business units were requesting of us. But our team could solve so many more business problems than people realized. They thought of us as the maps team. The change came when we stopped having conversations about GIS and mapping and really started having conversations around business outcomes and challenges and the things that were really keeping them up at night. Things were going well. We'd integrated road closures into fire dispatch, we were tracking response times, but field mobility wasn't fully deployed. Then in May 2023, the wildfire hit, the ultimate test. I was mowing my lawn and I had my headphones in connected to my phone and it started to ring. And knowing what was happening, I didn't even need to look and to see who it was. Of course, it was our Director of Emergency Management. They needed somebody there. And even though it was a Sunday evening, within an hour, we had staff at the EOC. I was familiar with the Esri disaster relief program, but I didn't have time to process what we could ask Esri. But it didn't matter because they called me. And immediately they were like, let's just activate. We'll take care of the paperwork. You just keep doing what you need to do. All through that week, their team became our team. It was absolutely incredible the support we got.
The Upper Tantallon wildfire hit the rural outskirts, the hardest place to deploy technology. If it worked here, it would work anywhere.
Your home is such a personal thing. So to not know what's happening to it is pretty much one of the most stressful things you can imagine. What we wanted to do was figure out how do we get that information to people as quickly as possible so that they can begin the recovery process. Within 24 hours, we had tablets in firefighters' hands taking geotagged photos of every property in the fire zone. The lesson that we learned was, wait a minute, we don't have to overcomplicate this stuff. That wildfire gave us confidence to move fast. Now we create field apps in days, tracking invasive bugs in hemlock trees, mapping dark areas that need street lighting. If it worked in a crisis, it can work everywhere. Personally, I know that I have the best GIS team in the world, so when I see things from our senior leaders that are demonstrating that they get it, that feels really good. That means I've done my job. The most important thing is get out and talk to your business users. Challenge yourself not to use the words GIS or Esri. You can't wait for them to come to you. You have to go to them. Not with all of the answers, but with a willingness to listen and a really great imagination.
Well, it's my great pleasure to welcome Paul Schaffelberg and his team to the stage to receive this award. Right. And they were unable to attend the conference in San Diego this year to receive this in person, so this is the first time they're actually seeing this award. I've spent a lot of time in Halifax over the years. I've known Paul for, 25 years. Yep. We've been working together. And it's quite remarkable how that maturity of an organization reflects itself in the accomplishment you do. So, Paul, congratulations very much on the receipt of this award, and you brought your team. Can you introduce your team to us?
Absolutely, thank you, Alex. So this is a portion of our team. We have Jill Landry, Alex Gallagher, Tristan Marvin, and Justin Chang. We were happy to be able to bring them here this year, and the rest of the gang is home, hopefully, to watch this, so yeah.
Well, that's terrific. So this award is because of not just the maturity of GIS, but a number of other things you've done. So maybe just indulge me for a moment. In 1989 is when Halifax actually acquired ArcInfo, all caps. Yeah. And I was down there for quite a bit of time working on the original planning of it, and that team led by initially Jim Gannon has resulted in this incredible award today, but also in your incredible team. And we were talking backstage about some of the work that they're doing with the Climate Change Hub, and we knew about this. It's a climate change hub that they're building. They're using the advanced hub. And but tell me a little bit about how it comes about and how it gets supported.
Absolutely. So the Halifax climate action program was it's certainly one of the most ambitious climate action programs in the country, if not in North America. But one of the challenges, of course, they were having, they had a lot of the vision. The vision was there. But what we recognized was, they needed to start telling that story. We were taking a portion of people's property taxes, and we were putting, taxpayer money into it. How do we tell that story? And of course, so from us, and of course, the team wanting to be, a part of this, part of this journey, we recognize what does GIS, telling data-driven storytelling is what has been the power of GIS from the very beginning. And so we thought, what better way to tell that story? And I guess the other aspect of the Halifax program is it's not a municipal program. It's not, obviously we're a big part of it, but it involves all levels of government. It involves private sector, public sector, community organizations, nonprofits. So in storytelling, you know, we can't, like we would normally do in municipal, say, well, it's our story, our communications, our systems will control sort of how that engagement happens. We need out of our partners, it's important, critical for them to tell part of the story. And so how do we do that? And that's when we came across the Premium Hub to say, not only is this as good at bringing our authoritative data into the story, but we can, you know, in a managed, in an organized fashion, bring our extended partners and external to the actual physical municipality into that storytelling exercise, and it's been revolutionary. We launched on the 14th of October, so we're very excited. It was a tremendous amount of work for the team because, again, it wasn't about deploying the technology. You know, that's, you know, a team would argue maybe it wasn't as easy as we thought, but it's certainly the easy part of it. But it was really that engagement, that collaboration, and really making sure that people understood what it is we were doing today, and then what is that vision, and how do we then grow from it? Because really, what we've launched today is just the tip of the iceberg, and we're really excited about where we can take it.
Well, the Premium Hub, of course, is exactly what you just said, allows you to bring these communities together. How many of you, it's only been out a month, how many have you got so far signed up at launch?
I'm not sure in terms of users. I mean, we have several dozen partners, and they're all represented on the Hub today. Yeah, we're excited. We're doing, event scheduling and things like that, but eventually we want to get more and more. We're eventually going to grow into sort of interactive, users signing up, again, in a controlled fashion, because again, we can't afford to just open the doors wide open and let anybody in. So we're trying to, from a responsible technology perspective as well, to do that. But yeah, so the nice thing about it is that we have such a great partnership with our environment and climate change team that they really trusted us, and that's really a testament to the team and the relationship that we've built with them. Is, of course, they were exposed to all kinds of options to start this journey. Lots of, organizations were eager to sort of be a part of this, and we really said, hey, we already have this relationship. We obviously understand the data better than anybody, and that's really at the core of this. And we have this, this tremendous opportunity, this tremendous power with our ArcGIS ecosystem that, maybe if we work together as partners, and it really was a partnership with the business. It wasn't, we weren't, sort of telling them what to do. They weren't telling us what to do. We really sort of had a give and take throughout that. So.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations.
All right. Thank you, Alex.
Congratulations for the award.
Yes, congratulations, Paul and team. I've personally been lucky enough to be involved in some of the work that Halifax has done over the years. It's been a while since I've been able to be involved, hands on keyboards, but I've seen much of it lately, and the Halifax Hub is just incredible. So really incredible job. And I'd like to really thank both Halifax Regional Municipality and Pomerleau for representing Canada so well and for being recognized with their Esri Special Achievement in GIS Award. So congratulations to both of you. Now, I've been lucky enough over the years to have been involved and had oversight to a number of different truly enterprise scale implementations of GIS with some of the largest organizations in Canada. And I've found that over that time, the organizations that really excel achieve excellence in 3 areas, and that's the implementation of processes, the deployment of leading technology, and the development and support for their people. And that brings us to a new award that Alec decided to create this year, a new Esri Canada award called the GIS Professional of the Year Award. And it's my pleasure to present this award this award is going to recognize a GIS professional who has demonstrated excellence developing geospatial applications or programs and advocating for GIS solutions both in their organization but also while fostering community engagement to elevate the GIS profession as a whole. This year's recipient is none other than Mitchell Eastley, a GIS developer and technician from the city of Steinbach, Manitoba. Mitchell is a one-person GIS team who has developed several transformative applications for the city. He's an active contributor to the broader GIS community in multiple ways and serves on the Community Map of Canada Advisory Council, promoting authoritative data and collaborative mapping, which has helped build a detailed, ready-to-use web-based map of Canada and improve data quality across jurisdictions. Mitchell also volunteers to judge GIS app challenges across the country, and in all of the free time that I'm sure that he has, he mentors emerging GIS professionals as well. Many have come forward to attest to the impact of Mitchell's work. We spoke to a few of them, and this video gives us a brief highlight of some of what they've said.
Mitchell pretty much had an opportunity to define the position and grow it to what it's become today.
I'm essentially a team of one supporting corporate services, engineering, building inspection and planning, waterworks, public works, parks and rec, and solid waste. You are being pulled in multiple directions in creating maps and applications for staff to use in their day-to-day tasks.
For him to be a department of one, and my understanding is when he started out, there really wasn't much of a system to begin with. And to come work here without any direct mentorship, just kind of blazing a path on his own and then establishing a system that we have today. I don't think a lot of people would be able to pull that off.
Mitchell is definitely driven in the field that he's chosen. The word that comes to mind is tenacity. But you have to be driven and committed to getting that work done because it's an enormous volume.
When I was a student at the University of Lethbridge, I went to student orientation, and the president of the university at the time, he spoke to all the students and he said, if there is some advice that I could give to all of you in this room, take the time. So what I always say to people is take the time to explain things clearly. Take the time to plan properly. Sometimes it's better not to rush, that you're going to get better buy-in and better results. And it's not something that's just a work mentality, but it's also how you live your life. Growing up on a farm, when a neighbor needs your help, you help them out. And I see the same thing in my coworkers in the same way, that they also depend on me to build maps and apps. And they need the reliable system to do their jobs, and that's how I help them.
I never sense any apprehension from him when we come to him with a task. I think he does honestly like to help people and does like to do things that will make their job easier. I think it's a point of pride for him, and it shows.
One satisfaction I get is when the manager of Waterworks thanks me for everything I do for their department, and that with everything going on, our GIS system is the least of their concerns, that it's always available when they need it.
We trust that the data is correct and available and ready for us to use, and it proves that the technology is something that is of great value to the community.
He's at the head of his field. Other municipalities that are reaching out and saying, hey, I heard about this project that Mitch did, and they want to meet with him and pick his brain a little bit. And that tells me that he's an innovator, and to get that kind of attention tells me he is making an impact in his industry.
Not only is it gratifying to see the evolution of the system, but it's equally, if not more gratifying, to see the evolution of Mitchell as a person in his career and his capabilities. I think the city is certainly appreciative and better for it.
Mitchell, congratulations, and it's my pleasure to present you with this inaugural GIS Professional of the Year Award.
Thank you very much.
Well, you're a worthy recipient of it. We reviewed an awful lot of applications and nominations for this, and I think all of us in this room know what it's like to build a GIS. It's a lot of hard work, and in larger organizations we have help. And, but it's hard to imagine what it's like to be the only one, the only GIS professional in an organization. So what does this mean to you as an individual first?
Well, I was taken aback when I was nominated for this award and that I would be receiving it. And even like when I arrived in Steinbach in December of 2007, like the system that they had, like I was like, oh my God, what am I about to get myself into? And so I started looking at stuff, and like as I said, it wasn't much of a system, but I had to start training up users and all that, and just how it's evolved. Like we talked backstage, like we came from an Autodesk shop originally. We came to Esri via the Ames to ArcGIS migration. So I've essentially had to build like 3 systems since my arrival. So, but I always get gratification, like as I said in the video, like when you have staff come to you and say, you know, thanks for everything you do, that really means a lot to me.
Well, I really like the idea that you told me backstage is that you just have to engage people. Because it sounds to me, and from what I've seen, that you empower people to use it in ways that
well,
go beyond.
and I can point to a good example with our waterworks department. We deployed a hydrant inspection solution, and as soon as they saw that, they started to ask, well, could we do it for water main valves? I said yes, so rolled out something for them, and then they come back to me earlier this year, can we do something for catch basins and curb inlets? So I was busy working with them this past fall trying to get that all set up and configured and all that. So.
You said that earlier to me that Steinbach has grown a huge amount since you arrived. What
like
tell us a little bit about
the population's essentially doubled. Like we're right now, like the census was at 17,806 in 2021. Our internal estimates right now we're at 20,117, and just with the building growth, like we're almost adding 300 units a year just in the last 2 years. Like we're probably going to be in the 20,500 to 20,600 range when they do the census next year. And of course that gives us added growth. Like our waterworks manager, the one thing that he's having to worry about is they need to expand wastewater capacity, and that's going to probably be the largest infrastructure project the city has ever seen. Like we just built a new event center, which cost $74.5 million. Now we had grant funding from the from federal and provincial government. We also had private funding, and even before that, we had new water treatment plant built in 2018, 2019. That at the time was the largest. So, like infrastructure costs are going up and all that. So,
well, we heard your advice in the video to other GIS professionals, but especially those in small organizations. But what would be, if you had to sum up advice to them in a few words? I love what you talked about, take time to plan, think about it. But
it's interesting that the president of the University of Lethbridge at the time, I don't know if people remember, Dr. Bill Cade. He was actually originally from Texas, and he spoke with a Texas accent, and he came actually from the background of insects. And it just, when he spoke, he's like, take the time. And I always say, you know, if you take the time to do stuff right, you can get gratification for everything you do.
Well, congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
Okay.